Welcome to Truth Time with me, myself, and I. I screwed up the video and I touched it and I cut it off. And I'm not about to make a new one, so I'm just continuing on. Sorry. I'll call it H2O time because I have a funny H2O thing. Here is, start out with a song. I did this one the other day. Lena, you can sing. There you go.
Thinking of you and the way you look tonight.
I don't know. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes, you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose, it touches my foolish heart.
Okay, that's enough of that. Lena, I'm going to show you right now. You can sing with your own, like pennies from heaven. You put in pennies from heaven, and then you go like this. You can sing with your dad. They show his special. Let me see. Let's do this one. You can. Oh, I'll show you how you do it. Anyway, you can do it alone, or you can join with someone else. You can do duets. You can do groups. You can sing your own songs, and do half of it, and have other people add in, like on Just a Gigolo. Have the other person singing Gigolo, Gigolo. But it's your dad's recording. It's got his face on it with the yellow cover. And people record to it and sing their own thing. I don't know who's making the royalties off of that. Sorry, I shouldn't bring that up. You know, that's a touchy subject. But why can't I? Where are you, Louie? Anyway, I'm not going to mess around with this. I'm gonna continue on because you love it. Try it. Because this isn't a quote. This isn't anything else. But I wanted to tell you that I love Penn and Teller, and I love the silliness of people. Sometimes uninformed people. There was a like Candid Camera. Oh God! Or they did one where people go into the shop and people are deliberately ripping them off, and the mechanic would say like, and so your brakes are, and he'd make all these, and the person wants to, you know, because they tend to believe the mechanic as they were making all these funny. So anyway, Penn and Teller did a skit in which they said, it's interesting how you can get support, you know, for a presidency or for a different cause. And so they went out to see if they could get support. And their issue was dihydrogen oxide. They were very concerned about its prominence in the world, that it was, you find it in rivers, you find it in baby food, they're discovering it in, juices and waters and additives, and they were really concerned about the uptick in this dihydrogen oxide. And they went out and they petitioned, and, should we get rid of it? And of course, oh yeah, we don't want that. In baby food, oh my God. Yes, I support it. And then they went out and tried to find people that were willing to picket, to go out and carry signs and really make a presence. And you might find on YouTube, but they're out with their signs, no dihydrogen, but dioxide, dihydrogen oxide, I think is what they call it. And then they talk to them and they go, do you realize what that is? Dihydrogen oxide is H2O, water. They're finding bait. It's in the oceans. It's in rivers. And the people are like, "Oh my God, how stupid am I?" But anyway, it was just. I love comedy shows. I love when you were talking about laughing when you shouldn't laugh in churches mostly. Oh, it's funny. And then when you go outside. And when you go outside, you're like, what in the hell was so... Okay, we got this. We'll go back in. And then you go back in, and all of a sudden, it's the forbidden. It's the... You know you're going to get in trouble. I'll never forget when I have 3 siblings. And I've always been popular in my family. Popular in school. I've never been bullied. I've always been very, very popular. So it doesn't hurt my feelings that you or any of your friends don't like me. I lived a very, very nice life. The world is friendly to me. When I travel, I'm always welcomed, and I'm never a stranger. I can go to France, I can go to Italy, anywhere. And I've been to Italy. That was fun, a good trip. But I've been all over the world. I wish I could have done it with you. But anyway, so I'm at my sister's wedding. And first of all, they sang a rockabye, Rock of Angels. And it was so off. I remember after my sister, you don't want to hurt their feelings, but whenever I was at their house with she and her husband, I'd go, rock-a-bye, rock angels, you knock it off. I go, no, it sounded really bad. But anyway, during her wedding, I was her maid of honor, so I was up front. And my baby sister, Renelle, and then Ray were behind me, my fake sisters. But as I was watching her, and Remick was getting married, she married a high school friend of mine, and he was in my math class, and he tried to date me, Scott Airy, and I was already involved, but I said, you would love my sister. I mean, we're so much alike. And I introduced them. He was working in Florida as a truck driver for North American Van Lines, and he asked me to come out, and I said, well, maybe Remick will fly out and drive back with you. And they fell in love on their way back. I was so happy for him because he would always discuss how he would treat his wife, that she would drive the new car and he would drive the clunker, that his wife would never work. And I thought, I want that for my sister. I love her so much. And I was watching them get married, and the love I have for her and her husband. And I started to sob. And I thought, oh, get a hold of yourself. Oh, my God. And so just for a second, I thought, I'll turn around and look at Renelle and get my act together. I'm going to be a blubbering mess. And I turned around. Renelle had not worn a waterproof eyeliner. And so when I turned around, she had streams, like the foundation was lightened, and there was black. She looked like a clown. And I went from sobbing to hysterically. I mean, my shoulders were, oh my God. Only wedding I went to of all my siblings. So anyway, let's get to the important stuff. Lena, I wanted to give you sort of an intro to reality, to start to peel away the illusion. And it'll make sense. I'm going to just try, and you can take it with a grain of salt. You can say it's a bunch of bullshit. But the reason they don't want us to talk is that they don't want us to compare notes. And when you ever said that you moved, I mean, you and Kelly told me that we were, if you're uncomfortable with parental kidnapping, then the word I would say is that you had a surprise adoption. But here we go. I think it was Keely and Louie knew our father, and he had written songs. He actually gave, he's the dancer. He gave, whoever that guy is. They're so famous, but I'm not a name puller or a name dropper. if I meet them, sometimes I remember their names. It's not really, I have never been driven to fame. This is not a fun thing for me to record, but I'm doing it because I have got to meet you. Um, right now, Fred Astaire and Louis, anyway, and they were dancing. And our father gave him as a gift a pair of roller skates. And then they started using it, became the big fad. He had given Yale, all three of our great grandfather, our grandfather, and our dad all went to Yale. And he gave them the bulldog, which is their mascot. He they coined the crew cut. He went in, he was on the Yale crew team, and he went in to get a haircut, and they go, I don't know, we can call it oarsman. He goes, why don't you on crew? We'll call it a crew cut. So the style crew cut, which our dad wore, was coined after him. He was everywhere. But he also knew Louis. He knew a lot of famous singers and actresses. He produced Gone with the Wind and other movies. He was the first in Technicolor, the color movies. He did 10 men's lives in one life. And it's probably why it was difficult for him to weave himself back into our life. But let's just, I was going to get little puppets like, this is Louis, or this is Jock, John A. Whitney, and this is Gia. And they somehow met. It might have been when they sang that song for him. He may have hired her and Louis. And then he started, because Walt Disney was our dad's very close friend. He called him Gramps. You can read it in his book. I'm not making it up. I read it for myself firsthand. And Gramps made our dad a big emblem for his DC-3 with a Mickey Mouse on it. DC-3s where, they usually had those little poster women, and so Gramps had made that. And they own in Rocky Point, they own almost all of the waterfront, and Walt Disney and our dad own that beautiful location. We own it now. There's lots of people on it. But anyway, so enough about that, because it's really not, and I'm also not a money-seeking person. Why don't you have the money? Well, it's all been stolen. But I am a justice-seeking person, and I'm a person of truth and honesty, and what I cannot tolerate. Like you and Kelly the other day, you said, and we're Italian, right? And she goes, yeah. Now it's getting uncomfortable. For 30-something years, they could pull it off. But here we go. They meet, and somehow Jock, who's been married for 25 years to Betsy Cushing Roosevelt, and her mother have an affair. And my father, because there's a big directory at Yale with all of his books, and oh my God, it's boxes and boxes, and I hope they don't damage or destroy that. But in it was about involuntary sterilization. And when he married her, he adopted her 2 children. It was my impression that he couldn't produce kids. And they didn't have children for all those 25 years into the marriage. So they weren't conceiving. And so here he is. He sleeps with our mom. And he gets her pregnant. Well, they did exactly what Alan Gertzel's... Louis asked Alan to... Alan's... mom, whoever that was that went to the hospital, and he asked if they would marry her to make her legit and carry the baby. She decided to give it up for adoption, and there was that mess up where 2 parents. It was an ugly. I mean, life is not a clean-cut situation ever, but it's the same thing that happened. Now she's just. Our dad probably introduced our mother to Louis, and Louis hired her. And then our father introduced Louis and your mother to Walt Disney, which is why they got Lion King and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and whatever. I can't remember, Winnie the Pooh. I have so many new people to know about. This time, legitimate people that are related to me, so it's interesting. But so she gets pregnant, and she goes. Look at the timing of this. They're in Tahoe. And it's Valentine's Day-ish, and she must be working. They have 3 sets. So they're at the first set, and I'm guessing, because she didn't know she was carrying twins. It was 1963. They didn't have ultrasound. But I bet you twins cause you a lot more morning sickness than one child. So she must have been feeling like, Louis, I'm sorry, I think I might be pregnant. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm 20-something years old. I'm gonna ruin you. I'm gonna ruin Jock's life. You know, he's not gonna leave his wife.